Hi everyone, welcome to the third episode of the Shape of My Heart Knitting podcast. I'm Flaminia. I'm a knitter based in Rome in Italy, and I am super excited for today's video. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I much appreciate it. And there are, I think, quite some new people here around, and I'm really pleased if you're here too. Really nice to have you. And I would like to thank you all because we reached the little milestone of I think we passed that actually, of 100 subscribers, which is just so exciting. I cannot think of 100 people actually like clicking the subscribe button. And yeah, this really fills my heart with joy. Every time I see a new comment, I rush to read it. I feel so much pressure in answering to comments because I'm scared that like I'm not responding like well enough in the right way. So that's why I take like 5 days to think of a good answer to your comments, but I really much appreciate them, and they really make my day. So just few little things before we start. I think that I would like to keep the podcast recommendation part in the end, but like as a constant in my podcast, because actually someone recommended my podcast in one of his, and it really made my day. And just to this side, it really means a lot that someone is like appreciating your work and like putting it out there in the world. So I think that I want to make someone else's day. And yeah, I think that podcast recommendations are a really nice thing to do, and it makes the podcaster in question really happy, and hopefully it helps out you lovely viewers to discover someone else's to watch and to enjoy time with. And hello, this is editing me from the future, and of course I forgot to say that I want to put from now on my measurements in the description box. I know it might trigger some people, so I'm gonna put it like at the very bottom of the description after the timestamps. So if you're curious to know like what my body ratios look like, I guess you can go check it. If you're not interested or you don't want to know, that's totally fine, but I think that would be helpful if you want to know, you know. That's it. Go back to the video. So enough for that. Let's get started because we have a lot to talk about. So first, briefly what I'm wearing. This is my Stockholm Slipover V-neck by Petiteknit. Is knitted with a random merino yarn stash that I had, and I wore it today to uni with this white turtleneck and these black jeans underneath, and it is really nice. I use just a single strand with 4mm needles, so I gauge swatched and I did size 2XL to accommodate for the smaller gauge. But then let's start. We have 3 finished objects, where one wasn't even in my mind in my last podcast. One is really exciting and one is like not really exciting, but whatever. Let's start with the one that I just had no idea that I was going to knit. It is this huge boy. Oh my god, it looks so nice. That is, why is the lighting so off? I think it's fine. It's the birthday gift for my brother. His birthday is on the 20th of January, so this was like my main whip for all those days. I started it on the 3rd of January 2023 and finished it on the 19th January 2023. So I finished it just in time for his birthday. This yarn is like the loveliest yarn I've ever felt in my life. It is, I'll show you the tag. It's Mondial, Lana Mondial, I guess. Quality since 1946. Regenerated fiber cashmere, made in Italy. Global recycled standard, and it is 97% GRS recycled cashmere and 3% recycled wool. And yes, 25 grams equals 75 meters. This is the tag. It is the loveliest thing ever. Like, I was so jealous. Like, this stuff was so expensive. The ball of yarns themselves weren't like as pricey as like Cardiff cashmere, something like that. They were like 8 something euros per ball, but we needed 20 balls to make this. So with a little count, it is 160 euros for a jumper, which is quite a lot. And oh my god, look at that beautiful drape. It is, I wanted to use it as a pillowcase. So nice. And as it is, what? As it is like recycled yarn, it couldn't be as heavily treated as standard yarn, I guess, with new fibers. So this was very delicate to work with. Like, I did Italian bind off on every edge, and it was just a pain because the plies, it was like a 4-ply or 8-ply. It was a 4-ply, but it was a very plump 4-ply. So it was like a DK something. And I used 4mm needles, but whatever. The plies kept like breaking, and you know, as you pass it through the stitch, it's just I spit spliced so many ends here that, oh my god, it was such a pain to do, but definitely worth it. I don't know why that thing is happening with the lighting, but yeah, this is the texture. It's like columns of stockinette and cables, stockinette, cables, stockinette, cables. So there was a project. Oh, sorry, I don't know if I said that. Like, there is no pattern for this. I just made it myself. I mean, I didn't make it myself. I mean, I did the pattern myself, but my mom needed the sleeves. Otherwise, I wouldn't, of course, be able to finish it in time for my brother's birthday. But we were fairly quick. We did good in like 2 weeks. So the first thing that I did is like borrowed from him a sweater that he really liked, and just, you see here a little drawing, and just, you know, took every measurement possible. Then I knitted a swatch with the pattern that I wanted to use. I blocked it. Sorry, we swatched and we blocked, but it's kind of necessary when you're doing things yourself. But I was proud of that. Like, I'm a grown-up knitter now. Measured the gauge, and it's I don't know how men's sweaters are constructed, but as my like brother is short, I mean, it's not short, it's like as tall as me, and he's like rounder around the tummy area, and his shoulders are not very broad, I thought that maybe a raglan would be the nicest shape, and he doesn't have like raglan sweaters in his wardrobe. They were majorly like drop shoulders, like, you know, not raglans, just I don't know if this is called drop shoulders, like the shoulders aren't dropping, but you know, where you do the back and then the front and then you pick up around the armholes. This is what I did. So I cast it on the back here, then I increased along this edge every row until I got to the measurement that I needed, then kept going down. Oh my god, I don't know how to put this better. And then I kept going down and down until I started increasing again for the armholes, in order to get like the red stitch count for the bust. I had to like have 2 cables, like one just after the other under the arms, but I don't think that's like, it bothers me just because I'm a knitter, but I don't think he noticed even. But so yeah, then we did this huge body. Oh my god, this was such a slog to do, but like I'm so proud of it. Then we did Italian bind off that is really stretchy. And like for sleeves, I was very confused on how to construct them, or like how to tell my mom to construct them, but I don't know, I kind of took inspiration from the sweater that I knitted my boyfriend for Christmas. Why is this full of mohair? Oh my god. Okay. And so they are seamed onto the body, and she started here, bottom up, and she does a really like weird cast on edge. Like I don't see like modern patterns do that. You these are knitted flat, so they are seamed. Cannot find the seam. Yeah, you see they are seamed on the bottom. So basically what she does is casting on with a scrap yarn the half of the stitches that she needs actually for the ribbing, and then she knits like a few rows of stockinette, and then what she did was to knit the live stitch on the needle, and then you know how you do a folded collar that you pick up like the cast on stitch. She picked up that stitch and she purled that one, so she had a ribbing with double the amount of stitches of the stockinette, so she had the right amount. It looks very like extremely clean, but because it's like an Italian bind off with the 2 rows of double knitting as setup rows, just the opposite. Like I think that's pretty much it, but it's not as stretchy, I think, but it's fairly stretchy. Stretchy enough. And then of course, because she knitted it bottom up and I knitted it top down, I told her like to like cross in the opposite direction the cables, so that upside down they would look the same. And so she did that until she increased. I told her like the rate was like every 2.5 centimeters, every 6 rows, I think. And then she came to the underarms and she started decreasing again, and she started decreasing again, and yes, bound off. And I seamed these sleeves on. Also, the sewing part took so long because it's just, as the Italian bind off, the yarn kept breaking. I spit spliced so many ends, and yeah, this yarn was lovely to work with though. And it's the first time I spit spliced anything and it's so cool. Like, did you guys know how it worked? Because I kept seeing like, yeah, you untwist the ply, you overlay them, and then you wet them and then you rub them. But I was like, how does that work? Like, how is that even possible? Is that magic? No, it's not. It works with like non-superwash things, with fibers you can felt, because you untwist the plies, you wrap them around, and then you know how you felt like woes in the washing machine, because there is friction, and then there is water, and then there is heat. So it basically felt it down with the friction and the heat of your hands. And I'm like, oh my god, everything makes sense now. So as I said, I used 4mm needles for the body. Then I did 3 for the neckline, because the color of my Marseille sweater looked so nice on 3mm needles. So I did that on 3mm needles, folded collar as usual. And then the bottom ribbing I did at 3.5mm needles, and me and my mom gauge swatched to understand how different our tension was. So she is a very loose knitter, or I'm a very tight knitter, I don't know. But she used did you see that? How's this even possible? I wasn't even pulling that hard. It snapped the seam. You see this little boy right here? Oh god. Whatever, let's move on. I was saying she used 3mm needles for the ribbing and 3.5mm for the sleeves. Okay. Yeah. Other than the yarn like falling apart because I seamed things too tightly, it's a gorgeous piece. I put some elastic thread in the neckband, and I think I want to try it on now because I didn't try it on after blocking. Okay, here we are. The sleeves are very long. Oh my god, that seam, just don't look at it. It is very, yeah, sleeves are very long, and body is very long, and you can see in the arms that it's not very much done for a female body. It is much darker than what is showing up on camera, but it is a very sunny day. Like, you can see the reflection of the light on my wardrobe, and so yeah, it is like a pretty dark jewel tone green. But yeah, I think the body fits really nice. It kind of puffs a little bit here on top of the sleeves, but I think that's kind of good. So there is a little bit more room for a male shoulder. Am I making it up? Maybe. Let's see. I don't know if it fixed after blocking, but yeah, I think it fixed. But you can see the color is kind of bunching up, like not the color but the fact. Oh my god, it's so light outside that I have a I don't have direct sunlight from the window, but I have a white building that's like reflecting it all, and I wasn't expecting it. I look outside, I was like blinded. But yeah, the fabric underneath the collar was kind of bunching up, but I think I fixed it with a little bit of blocking. I like pulled the back a little bit down. I don't know if you can tell, but I did some if you can tell, like 4 short rows on the shoulders. I think I should have done more, and maybe that would have fixed the problem with the collar, but I don't know. I didn't wanna ruin the the pattern, the cables, because I was like, yeah, but if this part is very long and this is very short, maybe it will not look as nice. That's really silly because nobody's gonna notice. But whatever. The elastic in the collar, I think that does a really great job. I'm loving this sweater. I think I might stole it from my brother, even if it has a really masculine fit with this like shape of sleeves, but I don't really care. Now I have to fix the seam. It really bothers me. But yeah, I really much recommend this yarn. It's just beautiful. Maybe don't do a seam pattern. Like, I don't have problems with the actual fabric, but I told you that like my mom's cast on is not the stretchiest. You see, like, I don't wanna pull it too hard, but you see it's not the stretchiest. So I think that was a lot of pressure and it snapped. But if you do something normal, I think that's completely fine. I think I'm gonna keep this on. Just a comfy hug. But I think I'll have to show you my next finished object. I don't want to. I want to. Okay, let's drama. Let's see what we have next. It's, oh yes, that's this one. The next one is the exciting finished object. The exciting finished object is, it's not finished, but it's like the knitting is finished. I don't know if you're ready for it. Freshly off the blocking mats, the olive cardigan v-neck with bottom band included. We did a lot of progress on this, even if I didn't work on it a lot because of this one. But so let's see. I think I started it on the 27th of December and I finished it yesterday, so on the 6th of February. So it took, like, I think that if I worked monogamously, if I just worked on this, I think I could have done it in very little time. Like, the sleeves went by so fast. I don't know, that's mind-blowing to me. And so maybe in like 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks to be honest. And I didn't have anything to do because I didn't have uni. I passed all of my exams. So yes, the bottom band is something amazing, but with order. So I used 1 strand of a fingering weight commercial yarn from Norway in this color. If you can see, sorry, I really don't want to get up and take my remaining balls from my yarn stash. So in this color, this really light blue color, and then I have 2 strands of Jumpskit Silk Mohair L together. So I think it was quite expensive as a project, like not quite expensive, but more expensive than others because you're holding 3 strands together. It's the first time that I'm using mohair, and oh my god, it sheds everywhere when you're working with it, especially when you're using 2 strands. My mom was just going crazy because I don't know, the couch was full of Jumpskit Silk Mohair fluff. Yes, but I made size small, and yeah, the motif was really easy to do and really easy to memorize. And yeah, look at the bottom band, it's so nice. And like the construction of it, like the pickup for the bottom band is something amazing, because like you pick up in the purl rows, and so it is just so neat and nice. It was my first time doing double knitting, no, a double knitted bottom band. I already did double knitting, and it was so fun to see like the bottom band grow over time. First time doing buttonholes. Let me show you the right side. They're so nice. Like, maybe you cannot see them because it's very fluffy, but they do exist. And I have the buttons. Let me think where they're in my yarn stash. So let's keep talking about this for a minute. So that I can wait a little bit to go pick the buttons. And yeah, just amazing. I did Italian bind off on everything. This like shape of sleeve is, I think, look at the fluff that is flying all over the place. It's my favorite, like the one with double decrease and then a longer rib at the end. It's just so nice and feminine. I think I may be entering my cardigan knitting phase because I'm kind of obsessed, and I think I want more, because this thing is so warm. It's so warm. Like, it's knitted on 6mm needles, so I'm like, yes, it's gonna be warm because there is the wool and the mohair, but it's gonna be kind of breezier. Maybe that's what I expect than like just using a tighter gauge. But to be honest, I was working on the bottom band, and so I had all this full cardigan on my lap, and it was so warm. It was super warm. Yeah, let me try it on. Let me try it on for you so we can all see what it looks like. Still a little bit damp for the blocking, but yeah, I think I can match. Yeah, it's a little bit damp, but I soaked it yesterday because, let's talk about this. I was a little bit confused because I was like, yeah, finally, I finished this cardigan. I cannot wait to block it because, you know, lace and textures really start to shine when you block them. And then I thought, yeah, so I can film a podcast episode with this as a finished object. And then I said, but then should I just wait to block it until it's dry to film the episode but have it blocked and nice, or just like film this episode today with this as a finished object but unblocked it without buttons? But I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna not wash it and film the video. I don't know, I washed it randomly. I started like filling up the water in my bath, and then I did an Instagram story where I just let it drop in the water and then like really squeezed to get the water in. Then I stopped for a minute and I'm like, am I dumb? Yeah, so I left it to dry overnight, then I blow dried it as I got back from uni at lunch. And then it's a little bit damp, especially the bottom band because it's double knitting, then it's double layer, but I think we can do it. So, oh my god, okay. Look at this beauty, look at this beauty, it's so nice, like, it's so nice. I have no words, literally, it's, wow. Look at the sleeves and look at the balloonness of the sleeves. But I don't know if it's just me, but it kind of bothers me. Like, the mohair and the main yarn are of two slightly different colors, but whatever. Like, I don't think that's why this that I'm about to tell you is happening. But the bottom band, I think that being like more tightly knitted and double thick is like much brighter than the cardigan, right? This is kind of more of a dusty blue, and this is more of a baby blue. But yeah, I really like the shape of the v-neck. I like a lower v-neck, especially for cardigans. I think that's quite nice. So a thing that I got wrong this time was the placement of the buttonholes. Like, not that they were like spaced differently among each other, but like on which side. I did them on this side, which is the left side, and the pattern was telling me like, yeah, put these buttonhole markers on the right side. And then I was like, like my right side, or like looking at the cardigan laid down on the right side. I don't know why I had this doubt, because it's always like when you're wearing it on the right. Yeah, but I was just so excited, and I started knitting the bottom band. I was like here up to the neck, and I'm like, I think something's wrong. I think it's on the right. And then I figured that I was just gonna do the buttonholes on the other side. And because I don't know if you noticed, like I noticed because I have an older brother, and I inherit a lot of his clothes, and many like zip up hoodies, and I would say cardigans too, like they have the buttonholes on the other side, and like the zip up and the zips up on the other side. I don't know if you noticed, but it is like that. So I'm like, am I gonna have a masculine cardigan with leaves on it just because it's on the other side? And I'm like, no. Of course not. It's just gonna be on the other side. So like I'm very happy with the cast on edge of the thingy, of the button band, because I watched Handmade by Florence's tutorial, and I used Italian cast on, and it's just, hello, it's just just really nice. Look. And then of course, like when you bind off, you do a Kitchener stitch. I don't know why, like my Kitchener stitching, it always turns out wrong, because you know how you put the stitches onto different DPNs and then you Kitchener stitch? I somehow, when I get to the end, just lose the stitches. So I don't know what happens, but I never get it completely right, but I don't think you can tell. I think if I turn it this way, like here, the last stitch is not completely done correctly, but come on, who's gonna notice? Nobody's gonna know. And I haven't sewn the buttons yet, but I got them, and they are nice. So they are double fast, so I guess you can sew them either way, this way or this way. And I think this way. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it this way. Let me see. Oh, let me see firstly if they fit. Okay. Like mother of pearl with the little leaves on them. They're really nice. And I think they look very good. Yeah. Also like this. Also like this looks really nice. But I think I'm drawn to this because this side is why I bought them. I got 5 of them because I need 4 for the cardigan and just 1 if one of them snaps. I messed up just one time on this, other than the button band thingy and the Kitchener stitch thingy. And like, because you do have short rows on the sleeves, and they're made so in such a clever way that I'm stoked. But they didn't put all the short rows like on the beginning. and that was what I was expecting, but they used more section of short rows to shape the sleeves, and I just did the first section and thought, okay, then it's done. I'm just gonna continue the sleeve. But yeah, I had to frog one pattern repeat, I think, in order to go back and do the short rows. I'm not wearing it, of course, next to skin now, but I think I find dropskid silk mohair slightly scratchy. And yeah, like even not on my chest or on my neck, even on my arms, it's not itchy, but I don't know if I like the feeling of it. You know what I mean? I don't react to it, but it feels a little bit dry. I don't know. I feel dryness on my skin, but I guess I can live with it. And I really like this color. Like, look how well it matches my ring. Wow. Okay. I forgot actually that we had a last finished object, but it's really nothing. It's this pouch made with this yarn that I don't know what it is. I think it is, I'm assuming, I think, for my knowledge, I think it is a wool silk blend, but it's really thick and thin, this yarn. Yeah, because it looks like there is a thin ply of silk with wool spun into it, basically. I held one strand of this yarn, like I did just double knitting. I don't know what to do with this yarn otherwise. I think I would like a bigger pouch. This was just a small try, because I didn't want to commit a bigger one. But yeah, I did also double knitted like things to put in the zipper. I haven't blocked it and made anything to this actually, but this was a cute thing to do. I really like how it looks. Yeah, so when I finished this cardigan, I had a huge crisis because I didn't know what to work on, because I have so much yarn, but at the same time I didn't want to do a sweater, or at least I didn't want to do like a 4mm sweater. I wanted it smaller. Yeah, usually you expect like, I didn't want to do 4mm, that's kind of too small. And then I'm like, yeah, I didn't want 4mm needles, I want smaller. So I swatched for a fingering weight sweater, exciting, with knitting for olive merino on 3.5mm needles, and this is the loveliest fabric ever. I swatched for the daily pullover by Paula Pereira, sold by, like, also through the Purl Soho website, and this is the loveliest fabric ever. But I'm not on gauge. I don't know, but I really like the fabric. Like, I don't want to go up a needle size, especially because I told you I wanted 3.5mm needles, wooden needles. So I think I might just go up a size or 2 sizes. It depends. The tension on this is amazing. Like, I think I'm getting better on my continental knitting flat, because look at this, no roaring out at all. It's just hide your face, come on, just the most loveliest fabric ever, and very drapey too. Swatch number 1. I also swatched again because on today, which day it is? Tuesday. I have lessons very early in the morning, so I was just scared that I couldn't wake up to go to uni, so I just started swatching instead of casting on another project that would have kept me awake a lot longer. Then I swatched again, this time with Drops Alaska, and the other one was yeah, I told you, knitted for olive merino, right? Whatever. With drops Alaska for the cardigan number 8. Again, I'm not engaged, but again, I really like the fabric. Like, I don't want it more holy. I don't want to go up a needle size because it's really, it's not super tight. Like, I don't know. I don't want to be, I don't want it to be more holy because I think that it just wouldn't look as nice. I'm off by 1 stitch. So, I hope. Were that too? Whatever, I think I'm just gonna knit the size small because it has like 35 centimeters of positive ease, so even if it comes out smaller, it's like it's not gonna be too tight. It's gonna be okay. So whips, we don't have a lot because we finished a lot of stuff. So we have, I don't know if you remember, where are you? My December bow that I haven't got like barely any progress on it. It looks exactly like last time. LOL, I got in like 4 rows or something. And I think I'm going to frog this one to use this yarn to lengthen the beanie that I made with this yarn. And because it's like the watch cap hat by Purl Soho, and it has a folded over you know, band brim, and it's a little bit short because I made like the toddler size, and it's a little bit short. Like, I wanted to cover my ears more so that I can have the thick brim but at the same time cover my ears. And also I am really into lately, like when I unravel something, like to wash the yarn and put it into skeins, you know, all of that. I think that people don't usually like that because it's more time consuming, but I think it's so worth it. Like, I didn't do it with this one and the stitches look kind of messy and I don't like it, so I think that I will try to restart. Look how cute it would look, like this cardigan and the giant hair bow. Oh, wow. I think I'm going to frog it, wash the yarn because it's still curly, and then lengthen the hat, and then put the leftovers in this big project that I'm so excited about. I already showed it in my 2023 knitting plans, and we got a lot of project on this one because it's really exciting and really fun to knit. Boom! I don't even know where to stand now. It's the Excavation blanket by a designer that has a really fun name, like Hypnotizer by the Hypnotizer. It's so funny. And yeah, it's it's a stripy blanket, and I'm using all the leftovers that I had, and so I don't know if you know, I repeat it like every time, but like I had a basket full of yarn that was another person stash, and it was like full of oddballs with no tag, not like and anything on it, so I didn't basically know what yarn was it, and it was feeling kind of scratchy, and I didn't want to do a stripy sweater with it, and so I decided to make this blanket, very much inspired by high fiber knits. And yeah, because I kept sewing like all these square blankets, and some were nice, I have to say, but they were, I think, a billion ends to weave in. I love weaving in ends, but I don't think I love it that much to do it on a blanket. I don't know. I don't think it was worth it enough to do it. Like those Cozy Memories blanket, wasn't feeling it because I like these yarns were all different weights, and it was very bothering me, the fact that the squares were coming out like different sizes. I didn't really want that, and I wasn't willing to weave in the ends. And the amazing thing of this blanket is that with this construction, you don't have to weave in ends, because you do 2 rows of, it's a free pattern, by the way, so that's amazing. You do 2 rows of garter stitch, so that you have the ends on the same sides, you knot them, then you will trim it, I guess. And so you have tassels at the end of your thingy. I think that I will have to buy interchangeable 4mm. I'm using 4mm needles instead of the recommended, I think, 2.75, but I'm holding like things double so that I can use up more, and so that it's thicker and denser to keep me more warm, I guess. And so I want to make it big. Like, it's pretty big now, but you know, I want it to be big, because like once you reach, like you do, it's a square, and you do the first triangle with the tassels on the other side, then you start on the other end, so you have all the tassels on the other side, and you do the other half of the square. So it is like pretty long, pretty big now. I mean, pretty big. I think I want to make it as a king size bed or a little bit more. So I think 160 centimeters, and this is like 60 centimeters. The problem that I am having with this is that most of the like little balls and stuff that I had, I used like till here at the beginning, but then, oh my god, I love this section. Like, this is my favorite one. Look at that. It's really nice. And yeah, as rows get longer and longer, you need longer scraps and bigger scraps. So yeah, I'm stuck with kind of the same colors, so I'm putting this on hold for a little bit in order to have more scraps to put in this, to have like new colors. And yes, this is so fun to knit. It's so fun to knit. And you use like knit front back increases, which I never do, like, because patterns don't usually tell you to do them, but yeah, here we are. And I think I'm gonna just stop talking about this because I'm very excited, but at the same time we have so much more stuff to go through, and I am already at 53 minutes of recording. Let's speed up a little bit. Yeah, this is my next whip. Oh, damn. You know, the black sleepover that I was wearing in the start of the episode, and that was taken from a sweater that my grandma knitted, and it was colorwork, so it was basically half red and half black. So I have the red yarn that I just wasn't sure that if I wanted to use it for a sleepover, but here we are using it for a sleepover. Same gauge, same size, and here we are. This project is like really fast. I did progress on this really fast. And this is a 2XL too, so if you're like knitting it on, this is like the Stockholm V-neck sleepover again. And imagine if you're knitting like a small that has way less stitches. This is so fast to knit. Really like it. And I really like my picking up, like my stitches pick up on this. First time that I picked up stitches continental. Instead, usually I pick up stitches English style, and that's maybe why it takes ages all the time. But yeah, it was very fun. And this is actually on hold for a minute because I applied for the the Knit Purl Girl Semper's V-neck slipover, and also for the round neck version. And I have like a red mohair that here it is. Actually, it is a little scratchy. I'm a little sensitive too, so I guess a lot of mohairs are scratchy on me. But this is like 300 grams, and I think that pairing it together would work fine. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just waiting to see if I got accepted in the test knit, which is probably not the case, but you know, just in case it like makes no sense to work on this and then having to frog all of it to start all over again. And so I'm just waiting a little bit, and in the worst case I will continue knitting on this as it is. Oh my god, did I finish? Yeah, okay. We have a ton of acquisitions to go through. Okay. So, buttons. First acquisition. Yeah, of course I wrote the 20 cashmere balls for the green sweater. And then, so, I talk about these acquisitions also on my 2023 knitting plans, but yeah, I'm just gonna show you really quickly. Me and my mom went a little bit crazy shopping during New Year's Eve for yarn. But so we found this Lana Gatto Ottocapi in offer. It's a DK weight, 50 grams equal 170 meters. Recommended for 3 or 3.5 millimeter needles. And it is a 25 stitch gauge, so it's a pretty light DK, to be honest, but okay. I want to use this to trying to design a sweater for myself, actually. And yes, there was an offer. I don't know how many balls I have. 12 balls. I have 12 balls of this. Then I bought this one that is also an Italian brand. That is ISPE, made in Italy, Merino 100. Is 100%, I think, unshrinkable wool, like virgin wool, shrink resistant, so I guess it's superwash. Like, it feels like it's not as slippery as normal superwash. It feels more rusticy. But I think it's superwash because it's not scratchy. Because, you know, there are basically no long fibers sticking out of the yarn, of the plies, but I guess okay. It is suggested for 4.5 millimeter needles for a 16 stitch gauge, 17 stitch gauge, and it's 50 grams for 100 meters. So I guess it is a heavy DK or a DK. I think it's a DK. Whatever. So, and yeah, I bought some like of these clippable stitch markers, removable stitch markers, because I'm currently using as stitch markers like these pins, but with the round bottom. And I wanted to see if like which one of those would work better, and I think I prefer, to be honest, the metal ones. Like, yeah. And okay, then I bought the remaining skeins that I needed for my for the cardigan number 8 that I want to knit with the swatch I showed you before. And with this package I also had to order more drop kit silk mohair because I ran out, and so yeah. But yeah, then last week my best friend came to do a pajama party with me, and we didn't like know what to do in the evening after dinner, so I just said her, would you want to unravel a sweater? And she was like, yeah, okay, it's fun. And So we did unravel 2 sweaters, 1 each. Just gonna show you. So I know this video is already long, but I wanted to tell this because I usually see people unraveling like very high quality yarn sweaters from the yarn store and stuff, but I had this this sweater from when I was a child actually, but it was so big and oversized on me that was like still big and oversized on me nowadays. And basically it was not a like super great yarn. It was, I attached the tags onto here. It's 75% acrylic, 10% viscose, 10% wool, and 5% alpaca, so it wasn't like that sophisticated of a yarn. But I don't think that just because it's mostly artificial fibers is not worth unraveling. I mean, I think it's the opposite. Like, Earth is just swimming in textile wastes, and more, like, because of that, even more, I wanted to give a new life to this thing and not just put it out in the environment. And I needed a bag because my mom keeps this is the yarn, by the way. I washed it and put it in little hanks. And this is a pretty chunky and wonky skein because my friend did this, and she, oh, you cannot see the chair, but basically the back of this chair is very like small, so yeah. Yeah, because you know, the loop in which you put your yarn wasn't that big, so it's a very chunky skein. And I have 420 grams. It is quite a lot if you think that like they were 2 yarns held together. If you can see, maybe here you can see better, like it was knitted up like this, but they are actually 2 strands of yarn held together. But so it could be like a sweater quantity because like held single, it's kind of a fingering weight. But yeah, I don't think I want to commit to a fingering weight sweater with this kind of yarn, but I think it would be very useful in the fact that it's very sturdy as a bag. Because yeah, my mom just, I have like 2, I used to have 2 plain just canvas tote bags, and you know, my mom uses tote bags for shopping groceries, but she uses also mine, but I would like to use them to go out, and then they just disappear because she doesn't know where she puts them, and then I don't have tote bags to go out to carry stuff. So I think I'm gonna knit the Essential tote bag by Essential Knitwear, I think so. So it doesn't get confused with the normal canvas tote bags. The other sweater that I unraveled was 90% viscose and 10% polyamide. Also this, I was unsure because it was knitted up at a, I think, tight gauge, and I really didn't like the feeling of the fabric on my skin. It was really cool fabric, like cool to the, you know, not cool, but cool. You know, in summer you want a cool fabric, that kind of cool. And these are the little hanks. I'm really proud of these hanks. Look at how nice they look. Look, it's just black. You can see it has a sparkle in it, which is weird, but it's fun. And it is like the most drapey yarn ever. Like if I undo the skein, if I manage, like, look at the drape. It's just so interesting. And I actually, like, I have 388 grams of this, and it's like a fingering weight. And I was sleeping I mean, I was about to wake up, but I had a vision like of this yarn because of like the sparkle of it. First I thought to knit with it like maybe a t-shirt, Cumulus tee, something like that, similar. But I had this vision of like this sparkly backless mini dress. Like imagine with this, and I imagine like with I-cord straps and a kind of cowl neck with this drapey of a yarn. I don't know, I felt so pumped for this, and I'm still thinking about how to construct it. I don't know if it will be a pattern. I don't know when I'm gonna start it, but I hope I'm gonna have enough. Maybe because of the back basically not existing. Maybe it will be enough. I really hope so, because I am really excited for that. Yeah, and it's really cool to the touch. Whew. It doesn't warm me up at all. Oops. In fact, it was like knitted in a sweater, and I'm like, why would you do a sweater in viscose? And I also did some research on viscose because I was like, is this an artificial fiber, and is it bad for the environment? And I think I have to do more research on that. But like, I'm not putting this in the environment, I'm keeping it for myself and bringing it a new life. So, but I was just interested, you know, how is viscose made? What is viscose? And then I searched on the lovely internet, and I figured, and I read it was a fiber, artificial fiber, but it's plant-based, made from cellulose. So I think it's not, you know, as acrylic or like polyamide, it's not plastic, so I guess it's better. Let me know if you have more like experience on that. And yes, I also like with the knitting file with Merino, I was doing a pair of leg warmers. Ugh. Where are you? A pair of leg warmers, but I unraveled them because I needed the yarn, because I wanted to do this sweater more. And these are the lovely hangs. I'm proud. Like, look how nice they look. Not as nice as Indie Dyers made them, but pretty close. So yeah, oh my god, we haven't finished. Damn, we haven't finished with the acquisitions. But basically they weren't like acquisitions. They were new yarns, but I already had them in a way in other forms. Not in skein form, but basically they arrived. This famous acquisition that wasn't there last time, wasn't there the previous time either, and it came. You may be wondering like why it took so long to come, but they are 3 cones of woolly knit British wool, and I ordered it when, you know, Inga, like Knitting Traditions, and Woolly Knit did the collaboration because they had a discount code, and I bought 3 cones, and basically I don't know, they weren't coming. They just weren't coming, and I was kind of worried, but I'm like, they are gonna come. They're gonna come because I have experience with just things that are supposed to arrive in the mail, but they just arrived like 7 months later, and I'm like, okay, even in that worst case, if they arrive 7 months later, I have other things to knit on. I'm not gonna die for that. But yeah, I was watching the like Tiffany's stream, Tiffany Liu, Typical Bliss, and she said she was talking about another website, but that they were having like an hacking problem with the Royal Mail, and so I just went on to the Wearinig website, and I saw they said, okay, yeah, we are having a problem with hacking, so like exports services are not really working. So I'm like, oh, that's why, okay, whatever. So maybe it didn't get lost in the mail. And after talking about that, let me show you. First cone, it's you, it's me, hi. It is, 500 grams British wool cone in the color Morning Forest. I especially bought this because I love gray, and it is kind of a lighter gray. How am I gonna show you? Okay, a lighter gray and a darker gray spun together, like plied together, maybe is the right word. And I saw once knitting tradition Inga wearing a ranunculus made in one strand. I don't know if it was this yarn in particular, I don't remember anymore, but I just fell in love with it, and I'm like, we gotta do that. So we bought it, and oh wow, it's really rustic. Like, if you can see, you cannot really see them like on the sides of the cone, but on the top and on the bottom of the cones you can see the wool fibers sticking out. To be fair, I think yeah, it's pretty rustic, but I'm not planning on making like a turtleneck with it, so I guess it's fine. Second cone is this one, that it's really a nice color. It's like it's a little bit yellower than I think what is showing up on camera, but it has like these brown aspects to it that are just really nice. I don't have plans currently for this guy, but I think we will do something with this. Then the third one has the most amazing color. Wow, it's like this it's a mix of a jewel tone green, a petroleum blue, and a navy, all spun together. So amazing. This is, I think, a bit less rustic than the others. Yeah, slightly less, and it's more loosely spun on the cone. Like, they are all 500 grams, but look at the size difference. And with this, I don't know, I think I want to do I have this vision of I want a balloon sleeve something with this. I thought maybe the what is it called, that sweater from Unlucky Knits, the one with the balloon sleeves, the snowfall sweater, maybe, let me check. Yeah, the snowfall sweater, either the mohair edition or the, like, I think there is a normal edition not made with mohair. Yeah, what I'm kind of worried about is, like, I don't know if you can see, it is very beautiful and the sleeves are very drapey, but that's mohair, that's really lightweight, so I don't know if with that yarn it would work, but I think I'll just have to swatch and maybe do the normal version instead. But I think I'll just have to check the gauge. Oh, yes. We're done with the knitting, and this is a really long episode. I'm sorry if you didn't make it. Like, if you didn't make it, you're not hearing me say that I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. And if you enjoyed, I'm very glad you are enjoying it. Knitting wise, I think I have just the podcast recommendation left, which is so exciting. The lovely person that I want to recommend to you today is another fellow Italian podcaster that you may know. She's actually, I think, very much more known than me, but you know, she's Francesca. I like how I don't know like how to pronounce Italian names when I'm talking in English, like Francesca or Francesca, because I have a friend at uni that just is, you know, when we met we were talking in English, so I didn't know she was Italian, and then we were like, okay, what's her name? She's like, oh, Francesca. So okay, great. She's Francesca from the Italian knitting podcast. She's the Italian knitter. I mean, she is an Italian knitter, literally, like on Instagram and on YouTube. But I think like she's the Italian knitter. Like institutionally, she's the Italian knitter out there in the world, and she's just so nice. We've been talking a little bit on Instagram, and she has a lovely cat. But yeah, I love how she embraces her knitting. Like she loves, where's my ring? Okay, she loves her mindless knits, and that's something really different from what I like, because I'm putting all this time in you know, knitting, and I want to do something a little bit more complex. But she's like, I'm just gonna knit this because I'm gonna wear it a lot. And she has a lot of like knitting in the dark, as she says, projects, because that's something really cute. I think that when she puts to sleep her daughter, she wants to knit, to have something relaxing to do with her hands, but you know, in the dark. So yeah, she makes a lot of blankets and shawls and stockinette sweaters, and they're all really nice, and she has a lovely personality, so I really would recommend to check her out. Okay, so if you were just here for the knitting, thank you so much for being here. I know this was a long one, but if you're up to a little live chat and appearance from other crafty artsy thing, you're more than welcome to remain other 5 minutes, maybe. Okay, after finishing my gift knit, my wrists were kind of aching, so I wanted like an evening just to do something else other than knitting. And yeah, there was me and my boyfriend are watching Demon Slayer, the anime, and I really wanted to draw this particular character. It's like Zenitsu. I don't know if you watched it, maybe you can reference. And yeah, I did it. I don't know if you I thought it was another finished object. Here it is. It's made with just pencils, and I think it looks bomb AF actually. I usually don't like rusts colors and orange. I don't like orange for some reason, but I think the combo of this color combo is really nice. And I really like this Muji, yeah, this is the Muji, I guess, drawing sketchbook. It's sketchbook, sorry. And I haven't made a lot of drawing on this because I guess I don't want to waste the paper, but that's ridiculous. But whatever, I love using it, and I don't know if you want to see, that's my previous drawing. Great. But this is done with, this is another character of another anime. Not really sure which one it is because yeah, I didn't watch it. First time I draw something I didn't like, someone I didn't watch the anime of, but I guess it is made with markers. And apart from that, guitar wise, because if you didn't know, the name of this podcast is inspired by a lovely song that has a beautiful like Shape of My Heart by Sting. It has a beautiful guitar intro, and I love playing guitar. And so in the first episode I said that if I had, you know, if I'm learning something special that I wanted to share on the guitar, I was free to do it. And of course I'm not gonna play it right now, but it is I'm realizing how nerd I am. You know, The Witcher 3, the video game, there is the Priscilla's song, The Woven Storm, really nice song, and I'm trying to learn the finger picking version, because, you know, with guitar you can always like find the chords and strum songs, but I've been wanting to learn a song, just the finger picking version, for a really long time, but I don't know, the ones that came to my mind just seem really complicated, and I don't know, I just wanted something more simple to play on my acoustic guitar. And yeah, I made some progress on that, so that's just something else we've been doing. And life update, I started dancing again. I restarted my dance lessons. I now do it from 7:30 in the afternoon till 9, 2 times a week, and then like in the early afternoon on Friday, and then on Saturday sometimes, because yeah, we do like repertoire variations and stuff we study, I guess. I'm so happy that I started again. I have so much more energy. Wow, it just really changed everything. And yes, if you stick till this part, I don't know, let me know in the comments, because I think you're really rare. But yeah, if you'd like to see more from me, maybe consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. It really fills my heart with joy every time someone joins our little community. And yeah, and like activate the bell so you'll get a notification every time I post something new. And yeah, that's all. Bye guys, see you next.